And we're back with some Helldivers 2. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this game, let me summarize it as get lots of big explosive guns, drop down onto a planet, and start shooting bugs. Lots and lots of them. There's a whole thing with automatons and robots and stuff, but barely anyone goes over there. Don't worry about that for now. And I thought I would just share some of the basic starting strategies if you're just starting out with the game and you don't really know what to choose between with all these weapons and stratagems and all this stuff. Now, we're going to assume you've at least gone through the basics tutorial and you know how to drop down onto a planet and shoot stuff. What we want to cover is what you should target, what you should go for, and how to become a productive member of your team. Or unproductive if you want to be. It's kind of the joy of Helldivers. The first thing we're going to cover is what you start with and what you want to aim for. The first support weapon you're going to get is the heavy machine gun. This thing's actually pretty good. Problem is you got to stop to reload it, so you don't want to be keeping that around for too long. The other thing you get is the orbital precision strike. This is a great little weapon. This can kill heavy chargers and things like that, so don't put up your nose at that one. It's quite good. However, I would advise you not to spend any of the requisition you get from your missions until you get to level 5. Reason being, at level 5, you open up a really amazing combo that's cheap, low down, and very powerful. The grenade launcher and the supply backpack. Both of these become available to you by the time you hit level 5, and the combination of the two is just, amazingly fun. Combined, they'll cost you 10,000 requisition points, but the joy they will give you will far outweigh any of the cost you're going to be paying. Now, one thing to bear in mind, these supply backpacks take up the backpack slot on your body. This can also be taken up by things like guard dog rover, shield backpacks, it's required for the autocannon, recoil rifle. There's other things that require that backpack slot, so this is a bit of a sacrifice, but it is very, very, very necessary. This here is the War Bonds page. You earn War Bonds just like you earn requisition by, well, killing stuff. As you go around and do missions, you'll gain requisition, you will gain war bonds, and you will also collect these samples. Assuming you make it out alive, of course. Those samples are a little bit tricky at times. But you will take those war bond medals and you can spend them in here in the war bond. These things are like game passes, but all you really care about is to get from this page to the next page. You have to spend a certain amount of medals, so you will be forced not just to buy the weapons, you will have to buy some cosmetics and armor and stuff like that. Which is a good thing. It means you will always get all the weapons and stuff you want from every page, and you'll just be forced to pick which, like, shiny cape or emote you want. Anyway, the most important thing is on page 2 is this gun. We don't really care about any of this stuff here. All we care about is this gun. This is a P19 Redeemer. It's an excellent little Uzi of a pistol. You're going to want to get your hands on that and then replace your basic pistol with it. You can ignore the G6 frag. Don't care about the grenades either. Then on page 3, you're going to get your hands on the SMG-37 Defender. This is a great little submachine gun, and that's going to be your primary weapon for the foreseeable future. And you're going to get Hellpod Space Optimization after that, because this will allow you to carry more ammo and medkits when you land on a planet. Then finally, you're going to want to get your hands on the Breaker Shotgun. This thing is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best all-round guns in the game. Well, unless you're going up against robots, but we're not worried about the robots. All we're cared about is a bug vermin scum. And then you've got your Vitality Enhancement Booster. These boosters are like little bonuses you bring down with you that give you perks. So if there's 4 of you and all you bring perks, that can be really useful. But no, first thing you're going to want to do is get this. Once you've got the Breaker, it pretty much replaces all guns. Even with the nerfs, it's still one of the best guns you're going to get early on. Now, it will be a while before you get all the way down to the Breaker, so be more than happy with your base rifle and your SMG-37 Defender. And then you're going to want to deploy with this. And the reason you go with this build is it works just so well, from early game to quite late game. The grenade launcher can fire 10 high explosive grenades in rapid succession. It is quite ridiculously powerful. However, they've put some limits on it to make sure it's not too overpowered. It doesn't have much armor pierce, so you're not going to be smacking chargers in the face and taking them down with this. At the same time, you can only carry 2 spare mags, which means even if you've got it fully loaded and topped up, you've got 30 grenades at your disposal, and you can blow through those really, really quickly. That is why you bring the supply backpack with you. The supply backpack gives you, each one of them is worth 2 magazines of grenades, so that's an extra 8 magazines. With the 3 you can carry around with you in the gun itself, that gives you, 110 grenades to do just absolutely catastrophic amounts of damage. Your job as a grenade main is to kill the chaff. You're not there to focus down chargers or bile titans. Your job is to kill all the small stuff so the people with the big weapons can kill, the big stuff. You just want to keep your team free of all of those little hoppers, the hunters, any creepy crawlies, any big bugs, even medium-sized ones, and especially those bile spewers. Those big, giant, pulsating bugs that fire goo at you, you can kill those in 2 grenades on difficulty 1 to 5, and 3 grenades once you go above level 5 difficulty. There is actually an increase in the health of the enemies. It's not really that noticeable in a lot of things, but you will notice with the grenade launcher that it takes you 3 grenades to kill bile spewers on level 6 or higher. This build is just really fun to use. There is problems with accidentally killing your teammates if you fire too close. That is going to happen occasionally. You will have grenades ricochet off things and go where they shouldn't. But by and large, with a little bit of practice, you can generally mostly kill the enemies and very rarely kill your friends. Now, the grenade launcher and the supply backpack are only going to take up 2 slots. But that's fine. We're still going to keep the orbital precision strike. And then what we're going to keep an eye out for is the Eagle airstrike and the Eagle cluster bombs. Now, it's either going to be one or the other you're going to take, at least for the early game. When you're level 5, you don't have a lot of choices here, and these two are pretty solid choices. The Eagle airstrike comes across the battlefield and will blow up everything. It'll do quite a lot of damage to heavies as well, and it will take out all of the nests that are on the ground. The Eagle cluster bomb, less damage to heavy armor, but it usually slaughters anything. Like all those light weenies get shredded. Has a bigger blast radius, does more damage, and it has more uses before you have to send the plane away to rearm. So generally this is preferred, however it is also very good at team killing. I would definitely upgrade it and try it, but you may prefer the airstrike for the ability to take out nests from a distance without having to go in. Fool around with both of them. Now, if you've got more money than you're going to need before you hit grenades and backpack, you could probably buy one of these. I think this one's level 3, or maybe they're level 5 as well. You know what? Who cares? Stay away from the strafing run. It's not really that great. Most of the other ones are not going to be nearly as powerful as these two. One thing I have to note, it says down here uses is 4, and Eagle airstrike uses is 2. This does not mean you can only use them twice per mission. What it means is the plane will follow you around and it carries enough ammunition to do 2 airstrikes. And just say you brought in both the Eagle airstrike and the Eagle cluster bomb. It would have enough ammunition to do 2 airstrikes and 4 cluster bombs before it has to go and rearm. So you could say fire down 3 cluster bombs, 2 airstrikes, and then at that point the only thing you'll be able to call in is the Eagle cluster bomb. Because it has already expended its 2 airstrikes. So once you expend the cluster bomb, it will then go off automatically and rearm, or at any point you can send it off to rearm. My advice would be only take 1 Eagle stratagem with you, at least early on, until you get used to the mechanics of everything else. Later on, you might start doubling down, especially when you get to the later stuff like the 500 kg bomb. That thing's just so much fun, but that's talking level 15. Using this build, I would advise you to stay away from the higher level difficulties. It's not that you can't do them, it's just you won't be quite as productive to your teammates until you get to level 15. At level 15, you'll gain access to Orbital Laser. This is a level 15 ability, and it allows you to just basically kill lots of small weenies, but more than likely you're going to call it down to kill a big one like Chargers, Bile Titans. Now, it won't kill the Bile Titan, but it will definitely put a crimp in its day. This is an excellent weapon to bring along with you, as well as that you'll also gain access to the Eagle 500 kg bomb. This allows you to bring some damage that will allow you to take on the heavies, while simultaneously you still got the grenade launcher and the backpack to do lots of damage to the weenies. It just makes you a more productive member of the team, and with that you can go all the way to the highest levels of difficulty, assuming you've got your grenade skills down. Also, early game, don't worry too much about chargers. You can still kill them. Just once they've charged past, fire grenades at their butt, and you can still kill them quite handily. But remember, that's not your primary goal. Your primary goal is to clear out the weenies and the small to mid-level mobs so that your guys with the bigger guns can take care of them. Once you hit level 20, I would advise you to swap out the 500 kg bomb for the orbital rail cannon strike. Makes a wonderful mess of any large target, great for taking out Chargers, Bile Titans. Well, it won't quite kill the Bile Titan, but it will do enough damage that a few more shots should just kill it off. And that's it. The skills you develop with the grenade launcher will hold you in good stead all the way to endgame difficulty missions, so have fun doing it. Spreading democracy is supposed to be fun, remember? Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you had fun and good luck.